Hello everybody and welcome back to the Xancast. I believe this is 14. I think this is 14. We've not done one of these in a very, very long time. It's in 6 weeks because we've been doing Minecraft 2.0. That series has been very, very well, but now the podcast is back. The thing that everybody wanted, the thing that everybody needed, the podcast. Now there's a good bit of things to talk about today. We got Antonio Brown, got some stuff to say about him. The Spiderman Sony thing, which I know it's been a while since that's happened, and we got the Area 51 raid. It's just a bunch of stuff. Now, I know that this Spider-Man thing is a little bit outdated, but, we did Minecraft for 6 weeks, and I did bring it up in one of the episodes. Don't remember which one. But basically, this is a rundown of what happened. Disney, I guess they wanted more percent of what the Spider-Man movies made. They had 20%. I believe they wanted to go up. Wait, no, they had 5%, and they wanted to get to 20. I think. And see, that's where the problem was, because Sony's like, no. You were asking for way too much. And well, here's the thing. Do I believe Disney should have asked for more? Yes. Do I believe they should have asked for that much? No. That's where my problem lies, in its entirety. Yeah, I mean, I truly believe that the Spider-Man thing's pretty sad, because Spider-Man not being in the MCU honestly just really, really, really sucks. And it's a big unfortunate thing that, we just gotta deal with sometimes. And yeah, I mean, it really, really does suck for the ongoing movies, because now there's a lot of stories that can't happen, and it kind of ruins the MCU. You're losing a big character that is not only your most important character left, because like the Hulk is a big character, but like the Hulk is no longer the Hulk. He's Professor Hulk now, and Iron Man's not that big of a character in the comics. I mean, he's a really big character, but he's not as big as he is in the MCU. Iron Man's gone. Captain America is still alive, but he's basically gone. I mean, it's all these things that are going to really, really add up, and the loss of Spider-Man is, just really, really damaging. And yeah, Thor's still there. Thor's still around, but once Thor is gone, you kind of lose all those big characters, and you kind of have these lesser characters. But I mean, like what they did with Iron Man, they can turn somebody into a big character. They can make Doctor Strange the biggest character. They can make Captain Marvel the biggest character, which a lot of people don't like Captain Marvel. I mean, I don't. Again, I like Captain Marvel, so that's what I'm gonna say there. But yeah, this again, the Spider-Man thing is unfortunate. I honestly wish Disney could get the rights back to use him, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But hey, we're getting She-Hulk, yeah. But enough about that. Let's talk about Antonio Brown. Now, you might not know who Antonio Brown is, but he is a former Steelers wide receiver. He is also now a former Raiders wide receiver, and he's also now a former Patriots wide receiver. Now, he's been, in the past year, he's been in all three of those teams, and he never even played a game for the Raiders, in my understanding, and he only played one for the Patriots. Now, Antonio Brown complained, and he left the Steelers. That's why he left the Steelers. He was then picked up by the Raiders in the off season. And well, that's kind of where everything kind of went wrong. So he complained about his helmet. He didn't show up to practice. A bunch of this stuff, and he decided he's gonna go from Antonio Brown to Antonio Clown in this moment. Yeah, he's like, no, I hate my helmet or whatever, so I'm not showing up. So then he doesn't show up. He gets fined, a bunch of stuff. They eventually release him, and then 2 days later, he's on the New England Patriots, and I'm like, wow, of course that is what happens. Antonio Brown is on New England Patriots. Now he can't play the first game of the season because he only was put on the team the day before, so he couldn't play against my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the next week he played, I believe, against the Dolphins, and that was his last game probably ever. Yeah, also apparently he raped somebody. So there's always that. But I mean, you shouldn't always assume that someone is guilty for these things. But I gotta say, this guy, and also the day he was fired from the Patriots, which was yesterday, there was 2 people accusing him. Apparently, he sent a text message to the second person yesterday, threatening them, and the Patriots are like, "Yeah, we're done." I mean, should have done that sooner. But I saw somebody making a joke, and now this isn't my personal opinion, so don't come for me. But I saw someone saying that if it was the Ravens, they love people like that. They welcome people like that. And, I mean, if I'm being honest, there's a lot of people on the Ravens who have criminal records. So, I mean, it's kind of there. They're probably going to pick up Antonio Brown. I mean, if we're being honest, they could, but you never know. But yeah, that's Antonio Brown for you. And my woodworking teacher, which is also the high school football coach, about the day after the Patriots lost to the Steelers, or the Steelers lost to the Patriots, we talked about Antonio Brown briefly. He's like, "How do you feel about Antonio Brown?" I'm like, "I just don't care." Because honestly, I don't. I mean, the whole Steelers game was about Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown, is he good? Is he a good wide receiver? Yes, he happens to be, I'd say, one of the top 5 in the NFL. Now, but does he deserve all this attention for negative stuff? No, he really doesn't. He doesn't need the publicity that he's getting. And that's just a fact. And people really need to look at that and understand that is just a fact. But let's get on to something that we've all been waiting for a very, very long time. And that is Area 51. The Area 51 raid went down, well, when I'm recording this, it was yesterday, which is also when Antonio Brown was released. They both happened on September 20th. Yeah, I mean, you got Area 51. Now, at 3 a.m., there were like a couple thousand people there with signs, bunch of stuff, just a lot of stuff was just happening. And it was good to see that people actually showed up. Now, only one person attempted to get in, and they were the person that was caught Naruto running on the news. I mean, it was weird. It was really weird. Did they not realize that if they would have actually tried to charge them, that they probably could have, made it into Area 51 if they really, really tried. One person tried, but he was arrested. And again, it was the person Naruto running on the news. I mean, I don't know how dumb you gotta be to, only try it by yourself. If you're one person and you're running in there, then you were absolutely screwed. But I mean, if you add if you have 100,000 charging people trying to run into a building, then you're gonna get in there. Now, can they pick you off one by one? Yeah, they could. But I mean, they would not be looked upon very well if they were just to mow down 100,000 human beings that just wants to know where the damn aliens are. Am I right or am I wrong? I mean, I want to know where the aliens are. I think it's about time that we really see these aliens that, we've been saying that there is, or there's not for a very long time. And it's dumb to say that there's not aliens because we can't possibly be the only planet that has life. It's just not possible. I mean, if you really think that, then you're dumb, because space goes on like forever. So there's clearly something out there. Just saying, we really need to focus on, hey, there's no way we're doing things out there. Let's just see what's in Area 51. Let's rate Area 51 again a year from yesterday. So we were gonna get there only 365 more days because next year's a leap year. Okay, now we are here for the wrestling segment of the podcast. Now there is a whole lot of stuff that is going on. We just had the first episode of NXT on the USA Network. Well, half of it was. NXT is now 2 hours, 1 hour on USA, 1 hour on W Network, only for 2 weeks. But that episode of NXT was absolute bomb. It was great. Saw a bunch of returns on Raw and SmackDown. AOP is back. Leah Rush came back to NXT. Just a bunch of stuff. Luke Harper's back. Got to see a lot of things. And we also know that Seth Rollins will be facing Bray Wyatt inside Hell in a Cell. That will be great. Can't wait to see The Fiend and Rollins. I just really hope they don't mess it up. Because, if you're going to let Seth Rollins beat The Fiend, then I honestly think you just got a problem. But, that's not even the biggest story coming out of this. There's so much has happened in wrestling in the past week. I think it's really, really insane. Brock Lesnar is facing Kofi Kingston on the first episode of SmackDown. It's been 16 years since Brock Lesnar has wrestled on SmackDown. And now Brock Lesnar is going to wrestle Kofi Kingston on the first SmackDown on Fox. That is a really, really big match. And personally, I don't think I've wanted Brock Lesnar to win in a while. But I kind of want Brock to win. And, well, the big reason being is because I want to see The Fiend versus Brock Lesnar. And we would get The Fiend versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series if that happens. Now, again, you don't have to have Brock hold it that long. I think Brock having short, less than 100-day reigns, that is okay. Don't go ridiculous. Have him show up. If you're having a 90-day reign, have him show up 10 times, maybe 11 times. I mean, come on. And also, just learn how to not give Brock the title. That is not that hard of a thing to do at all. I mean, Brock Lesnar doesn't need the title all the time. But again, he's not been WWE champion for 5 years. It's just the fact he's had that Universal one for so long. Now, they could easily throw in the ruse. They could easily have Kofi Kingston. They could easily have Kofi Kingston beat Brock Lesnar. But are they really going to have Kofi beat Brock? I just don't see that happening. I don't see a reality where that happens in any way, shape, or form. But you know what? I don't know. There is no way they would have Kofi possibly beat Brock. I don't see it happening. They could though, and it'll be a really, really big swerve. But also, well, I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore. I've done this podcast in so long, I just can't keep a train of thought. Man, what was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah, AEW is coming soon, and then they have a new name, Wednesday Night Dynamite. That is the name we all thought they were gonna have, but now it's absolutely confirmed. So, quite personally, I just cannot wait for it to happen, because I'm really hoping to see where this goes. I really want to see a new wrestling show. I mean, NXT this week, technically last week when this goes up, was absolutely phenomenal. I think it was the best episode of NXT that we've seen in a while. I mean, the main event was not that good because I don't know. The main event was Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane, and it was a street fight. They ended up outside, and then Imperium got involved, and then Street Profits got involved, and just a bunch of stuff. By the way, Imperium made their debut on regular NXT, So that's always nice. I think that's a good thing, because like Imperium is good, and you now have two major factions in NXT. You got Imperium, you got Undisputed Era. They don't have a babyface faction, which I really think that they could use, but again, there's nobody to be in it. And yeah, they got the Forgotten Sons, but again, 3 people don't make a faction. 3 people make a trio. 4 people or more is a faction. Just saying. That's just how it works. And maybe somebody will disagree with me, but that is just how it works. The NXT was great, except that main event where Matt Riddle and Killing Dan got back to the ring and they're pulled apart by security, even though that they were having a match. I mean, yeah, there was a bunch of people on the outside. Why not have the security attack them and just allow Matt Riddle and Killing Dan to go out in the ring? I'm honestly not sure. I'm really not sure. But it is what it is, I guess. And for what it's worth, that show was great. Now, I think Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong should have been the main event, but they were the main event of the TV portion. And I gotta say that Strong and Dream did really good together, but now the Undisputed Era is all draped in gold, and that is what needed to happen. I've been waiting for that for ages. A bunch of people have been waiting for that for ages. Everybody's wanted to see the Undisputed Era have all the championships, and that is exactly what they have accomplished. They have all those championships now. They have what they prophesized about having. So, it's all good. It's all good. They now have everything they need and more. That's all one can ask for. But let me get off this NXT subject for just a bit and talk a little more about Hell in a Cell. We got The Fiend and Seth Rollins. The Fiend just recently attacked Kane, and that was awesome. We're also going to have Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks inside Hell in a Cell. Now, last time we had a women's Hell in a Cell match was 2015. It was Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. That was a good match. Wait, no, it wasn't 2015. It was 2016. Yeah, it couldn't have been 2015. 2016? Yeah, it was 2016. 2016. And yeah, it's been a while. And those two tore it up in there. So I expect Becky, who is more of a brawler than Charlotte is, to really make this match. I think we could get a much more destructive, much better Hell in a Cell match. And yeah, so far we only have the 2. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. However, they're both just Raw Hell in the Cell matches. They're not SmackDown matches. And there is going to be a draft. Not a Superstar Shakeup. There is going to be an actual draft. And I can't tell you how excited I am for that. Because this wild card rule thing, the wild card rule, it just absolutely sucks. And if they can manage to somehow bring in, if they can manage to bring in some stuff, if they can manage to bring in this draft and just really fix everything, then that'd be perfect. Because you got a lot of guys showing up on both, you got a lot of girls showing up on both, and it just doesn't work, okay? And when Nia Jax comes back and Tamina, don't put them on TV. That's all I ask. That was a random thought. I just thought I needed to say it, because I don't want the Samoan Slaughterhouse back on my screen, or Naomi, or Natalia. Them 4 just need to go. Please. I beg you. Now, I mean, I don't think that's a popular opinion. I just don't think the 4 of them are that good. Natalia's good in the ring. I'll give her that. But she's no personality. Alright? Tamina, she's okay in the ring. No personality. Nia Jax, she sucks at everything. She's somehow a better face than a heel, which I don't know how that's possible. Naomi, her gimmick just sucks. That's honestly all. Just get rid of her glow gimmick, and then you're good. I think, yeah, I listed all 4 of them. I don't like those 4. I don't know why. I literally like every other woman in the women's division except those 4. That's pretty sad. I even like Dana Brooke a bit. I even like Lacey Evans a bit. Although she needs to really work on her ring skills. Yeah, honestly. I mean, out of all the women's wrestlers that I like Lacey the least. So that's just saying something. She's friends with Corbin. I mean, that can't be forgiven. It can't be forgiven at all. How can you be friends with Baron Corbin and think that everything's going to be okay when you should know that it won't be? Alright, now we are here for the YouTube portion of the podcast. I don't really know what to say for this. I never really know what to say of this YouTube portion of the podcast. But I sent out a tweet Friday saying that I was doing a character study 3-part series. And that was coming up in a couple weeks. And I gotta say that is gonna be good. Can't give any more details, but that's what it's gonna be. As for other stuff, we got XCW going on. Yes, we are doing an invasion. I think it is the perfect thing to do. I'm really glad that it was come up with. Yeah, it's a whole invasion. It's Ash and the Stars versus XCW, and you know it's really great. And I haven't crossed these things before. I haven't crossed XUW and Ash and the Stars, surprisingly, but now it's finally happening towards the end of Zanzone. So if it's not clear who's gonna win this all, then you're just I don't know where you are in your head. It's very clear who's gonna win this because one of these channels is sticking around and one of them is not. So yeah, but that's very interesting. We also had the Enter Jeff video, which, my God, if that is not the darkest thing up on the channel, I don't know what is. But this 3-part series is gonna surpass the darkness 100%. I'm telling you that now. I love Jeff. You know, I love Jeff, the former Jeff the Plant, now kind of a humanoid plant guy. I think it's a character, and I've two of my friends, I was just talking about it with them last night about how the character is, and they told me he is a character that you could see in a slasher movie or something like that, but he would have this charisma about him where it would be very different than other slasher movies. That is what one of my friends told me yesterday, and I like hearing that something that I've tried to do actually works and actually has its purpose, has an intended purpose, because sometimes you just don't get that. And Jeff is by far my greatest creation, and I'm really, really proud of the character and how it has worked and how everything has just come to be. You know, from being in a cooking video as just a random background object or whatever it was, to just a full-on character who has a much wider story that about his past and whatever that hasn't even been said yet. I mean, you know, you don't know too much about this character, and that's the big reason why I'm doing the 3-part character study. It's not for Jeff the Plant. It's not for Jeff, but a big reason why I'm doing it is because some of these characters just kind of are there. Like, they're like, oh, cool, you know, I'm here. But what's my backstory? What am I really? So when I did the Who is the King of Stuff video, I tried to explain who the King of Stuff is. Now, the King of Stuff is dead now, and he was a really good character, but I just did it to further progress what the story of Zanzone is going to be. Do I miss the King of Stuff? Yeah, I do. A lot of people said in the comments of the video where he was killed that the King of Stuff is one of their favorite characters. Now, I didn't mention this because, again, podcast hasn't been around, but the crown was missing. And nobody pointed out that the crown was missing, but the fact that the crown is missing is a very, very big thing that just nobody's actually picked up on. So that somebody should pick up on that before it's too late, because it's again, the crown going missing is a very important detail. But yeah, the king of stuff. I definitely love doing that character. A lot of the characters are kind of simple to do, and a lot of them just like, I'm here. But king of stuff was one of them. Now G Sus, that is a favorite for people on XUW. That's also a great character to do. I'm talking about putting a butter stick up somebody's ass. That is always, I know that was always peak humor, and quite frankly, it always will be. But these characters that were spawned from XUW, they're great. They're great and all, and I don't branch all of them out of it because not all of them need to be on it. Like Xandre the average, he's just a ripoff of Andre the Giant. He doesn't need to be a character, which is why he isn't. Hulk Hogan impersonator doesn't need to be there. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger. He doesn't need to be in anything. It's really, really what you make it. And Pajama Headed Man has branched out on a bunch of things. And now after XUW ends, Pajama Headed Man, he's not gonna be like gone. Pajama Headed Man's sticking around for quite some time. Might I add, Pajama Headed Man is gonna be around much longer than any other character. That's all I gotta say. Now, if that doesn't tell you my plans with him, then, I don't know what will, because I'm not just going to flat out say what is going to happen with Pajama Head Man. I mean, that'd be dumb of me. Why would I do that? That'd be stupid. Who would really announce their plans for one of the biggest characters? I have no idea. But that's all the time we have for today. So thank you, everybody, for listening to this great podcast. It's always a pleasure to be back. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.